Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty wild conflict that's heating up right now, the one between giant entertainment studios and their own fans. Fans who are now armed with some seriously powerful AI tools. Okay, so let's just jump right into the core argument here, which is pretty provocative. The idea is that fans are done just complaining. They are staging what amounts to a creative rebellion against the companies they feel have totally dropped the ball with their favorite stories. So, what's really driving all this? Well, at its heart, it's a feeling of betrayal, a deep-seated belief that the corporate owners are just fundamentally mismanaging the characters and the worlds that so many people love. And look, this isn't about just one bad movie or a single disappointing TV season. We're talking about what fans see as a consistent pattern of creative choices that actively break the very soul of their favorite heroes and stories. A perfect example of this, according to the source, is South Park. The argument goes that a show that was once legendary for its fearless, equal opportunity satire has, well, it's lost its nerve. It's become selective and, as they put it, terrified to even touch certain hot-button issues. And this feeling goes beyond just the show itself. The argument is that there's this broader chilling effect on what fans can even say, pointing to things like fan jokes on Reddit being censored, which, just adds more fuel to the fire. So all of this frustration, it's boiled over into a really fascinating turning point, the fan response. We're seeing this massive shift from just sitting back and watching to actually getting up and creating. And we have moved way beyond just traditional fan fiction here. I mean, we're talking about high-quality media, animations, short films, you name it, that is now directly competing with, and in some cases, blowing away the official studio productions in terms of audience attention and praise. This quote from someone watching a fan-made Star Wars video, it just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that mix of frustration with the official stuff and just total awe for what these independent creators are pulling off. And don't think for a second that this is some small, niche audience. These channels, which aren't even making money off this stuff, are pulling in hundreds of thousands of subscribers who would rather watch fan-made content than the multi-billion-dollar official versions. So how is all this even possible? This creative explosion didn't just come out of nowhere. It's being supercharged by a massive and very recent leap forward in technology. It feels like overnight, anyone who can get a good handle on AI prompts can now create content with visuals, dialogue, and editing that can seriously rival professional work. I mean, the barrier to making something that looks amazing has just completely crumbled. This table here really breaks down the two big examples. On the one hand, you've got parody, where fans are using AI to make those edgy South Park jokes they feel the real show won't touch anymore. And on the other hand, you have serious creation, with fans building out the Star Wars universe in ways they find way more interesting than the official storyline. So as you can imagine, this whole new world presents a gigantic, and honestly, an unprecedented problem for the companies that own these massive franchises. They are in completely uncharted territory. So the first, most obvious question is just about enforcement. I mean, how long are the studios going to sit on their hands and watch as their own fans basically hijack their biggest properties? But see, it's not that simple. This gets into some really murky legal waters around things like fair use and parody, ideas that have protected fan creations in the past. But do those same rules apply when the fan version is almost impossible to tell apart from the real thing? And this all builds up to the biggest, most existential question for the studios. If fans can make better, more popular content for free, what is the actual point of owning the intellectual property anymore? It's the potential scale of this that has to be a strategic nightmare for these media companies. It's one thing to shut down a single fan video. It is a completely different problem when you're facing a daily flood of content that people like more than what you're making. So, where does this all go? What's the end game? Well, the speculation is that we're barreling towards a future that is going to force a radical, fundamental change in how the entire entertainment industry works. And right at the heart of this whole fight is this legal concept of fair use. The argument is that this idea, which was designed for a totally different world, is going to have to be completely rethought now that fan creations are good enough to be direct competitors. And get this. We are not just talking about short little clips anymore. The prediction here is that before this year is even over, fans will have the tech to make full-on, feature-length, theatrical quality movies right from their home computers. So if you're a studio, how do you even survive that? Well, instead of fighting a war you can't win, the proposed solution is basically, if you can't beat them, join them. The idea is to create a system where you can officially license and even monetize the best fan content. You set the rules and you take a cut. This really presents Hollywood with a stark choice. Either you adapt to this new creator-led world, or you risk becoming totally irrelevant as creators and their massive audiences just move to global platforms where copyright laws basically don't exist. And that leaves us right here, with the one critical question that is going to define the next chapter of pop culture. Will the giants of media adapt and collaborate, or will they try to fight a war for control against their own audience, an audience that now has the power to build the very worlds they love, with or without them?